very close to contact. That had to be so close. Smoking in to the mark. It's game on. Here's an awesome race in towards the bottom gate. Have a go at the speed. 43 knots. This team is absolutely on fire.
Hello and welcome to all of you e-sailing fans around the world. Welcome to the SailGP special show, Athletes versus Gamers. My name is Thomas Bjørn Luthi and I'm going to guide you through tonight's show. But of course I'm not going to do everything alone. I have always one of my favorite commentators here in studio and one of the experts on the field of sailing. Please welcome Alec Wilkinson.
Hello, Thomas. Isn't this exciting? The very first ever time that we see the top e-sailors up against some of the world's top sailors. And I'm dying to find out whether that experience on the water turns out to be stronger and better than experience in the virtual world.
It's going to be a crazy, crazy race, and it's a format that we already know, Alec. It's going to be the same thing as the SailGP 2020 campaign, that all the top e-sailors in the world are sailing 3 races back to back and a match race for top 2. So who was going to win? And Alec, what a exciting lineup we have today. We are going to see these athletes versus gamers, but who are we going to see in today's race?
Well, we've got 3 of the world's top gamers, and we'll be looking at them in more detail in a moment, but they will be facing 5 SailGP sailors, the guys who do the real stuff on the real F50s throughout the season. We start with Tim Lapau of France. He's the youngest member of the France SailGP team. I know he's been practicing on his device, trying to get good at this. He wants to win. Matt Gottrell of Ineos Team UK, the British SailGP team, an Olympic champion rower, now switched to grinding on board that boat. Diego Botin of Spain. Well, what can I say about him? He's a 49er Olympic sailor, so hugely experienced. Taylor Canfield of the USA, arguably one of America's best match racing sailors, and Tom Johnson of Australia, a hugely successful offshore sailor. But how will he perform here against the e-sailors on an EF50?
And it's interesting, Alec, we have been told that these guys have been practicing and they are already getting ready, lined up for race number 1. So let's go in and start the race.
Here we go then. Race number 1, Bart Lambrechts in the picture with the black sail, representing the Netherlands. How is he going to do in this very first race of the competition? So you can see the clock ticking down, top left-hand corner, and you can see the radar giving you the wind direction as well in that top left corner. Diego Botin, the SailGP Spanish sailor, and obviously sailing a Spanish boat in this race as well. Now, we've got some really experienced match racers out on the course. This is our French entrant, Tim Lapau, and he is really pumped up and looking forward to this, one of the youngest SailGP sailors out there. And he can't wait as the clock counts down. We're into the final 10 seconds. And now they're accelerating away towards the start line. This is one of the fastest moments of the race and certainly the most crucial.
And what a start. See, Botin and Briggs coming first, but Tim also in a good position. Pepe de Marto on the inside. Diego Botin crossing it. Bart first. Going down with Taylor coming in. Oh, Tim doing a dive downwind, getting a penalty for sailing into Pepe de Marto. And the same thing, Diego Botin can see Tim here. He's not satisfied about that one.
Wow, big traffic jam. And as always, they came screaming into that mark. But what's happening here at the first gate? Pepe de Marto, Taylor. Oh, Taylor Canfield, what's he doing? He's got it all wrong. He's missed the gate.
It's so, and then he going upwind. Yeah, that's like watching the San Francisco race where the Chinese build last year broke up because there was no wind and sailed 4 knots in speed. Here we have a split here. They're splitting up, some going to the right hand side in the upwind, some goes to the left hand side, and that's an interesting tactics because that's also decide how many jibes they're going to do. But see those battle. Matt Cottrell, he's getting ready here.
Yeah, they want to minimise the number of manoeuvres in these really fast EF50s. Every manoeuvre costs them dearly in time. Because yes, the boat is fast, but it also, because it's so fast, because the race is so short, every manoeuvre is most significant. Bart Lambrecht's out in front now with 100 metres as we follow Diego Botin coming in from the right-hand side. Tim Lepau over on the left-hand side of the course as they head towards this gate with Bart Lambrechts followed closely by Pepe D'Amato.
Yeah, it's interesting to see here Pepe coming in front of Dolph there, and Matt Gottfried got a penalty for hitting the boundary. Remember, there's boundaries in this game, so when you cross them, then you will get a slowdown for 11 seconds. But it's Bart Lambrechts first, Pepe D'Amato second, Dolph coming in. It's very close, 2 Dutchmen catching an Italian in a burger, but Dolph, he goes to the opposite side. That's quite interesting what's happening here.
The young 14-year-old from the Netherlands decides to choose a different mark, but heads up that same right-hand side of the course. More central, though. I wonder if he spotted something the others haven't. Matt Gottrell, closest to us, trying to catch Tim Lepau, who's currently sitting in 5th.
But see that battle in front of us is Botin against Dolph Bosma, and yeah, you're right, Matt Cottrell. He's trying to come in. He's getting some dirty air from Tim Lepau, but let's see how he's coming in. But the Dutch, the Spanish, and the Italians are in the lead, battling that when we're seeing Bart Lambrechts already running that gate mark, and Matt Cottrell, he is trying to come back in speed. Diego Botin.
Yeah, the gap between second and third growing now. And there's an interesting battle for that third place, I think, developing between the Spaniard Botin and the young Dutchman Douwe Bosma. We'll see how that unfolds as we watch Tim Lepau get very close to the boundary, but gets away with it.
Yeah. He's trying to come closer and closer to Diego Botin, but it's still Bart Lambrechts in the lead. Douwe Bosma coming in third, Pepe D'Amato in second. But interesting, watch over there, Diego Botin coming from the right-hand side, while we're just seeing Bart Lambrechts way ahead. He's 100 meters in the lead at the moment. Great battles coming up.
Yes, these boats are fast and often mistakes happen, but I think it's going to be tough for any of these guys to catch Bart Lambrechts. Interesting battle, though, behind him for second, third, and
Try to
fourth.
follow Tim Lepau here. We know he has been practicing with some gamers, and he's going all the way to the boundary. He's sacking up, and it looks like he found a glitch in the game. We know there is a trick here in the corner, and he's going after it. Great job by Tim here. Really practicing the game. But it's Diego Botin, the best SailGP sailor, coming up here. See, he's very happy at the moment. Bart Lambrechts rounding the top gate mark for the last time. Pepe D'Amato coming in, pressure by Dolph. Dolph with a penalty! Alec, Diego Botin coming back in the race.
And that has cost, I think, Douwe Bosma that third place. We shall see if he can catch up, but it's going to be tough. So D'Amato has, and that penalty on Douwe of Holland has seen Botin take third now. And Bart Lambrechts out at the top of the screen heading towards the finish line. But Douwe Bosma, he's not giving in. He's closing the gap again on Diego Botin. Now, Diego Botin, can he hold his nerve and hold on to third?
Penalty! Dolph hits him!
Was that inexperience, or did he just decide he had nothing to lose? He was going to try and take him on. Either way, Diego Botin takes third and is the best placed SailGP in this first race of the competition.
And here we see TJ coming in last here, just finished with the honor in 8th position. We saw also just Tim Lepau a little bit unsatisfied with that 5th place he came into. And let's see the scoreboard. Bart Lambrechts with a victory. Pepe D'Amato in second. It's a great win for Bart, actually. And see, he's very happy there. We have Pepe in second.
A 9-second victory is really something in a SailGP competition.
Yeah. Diego Boting, best SailGP sailor in third, Dolph Bosma fourth, Tim Lapal fifth, Matt Grottrell sixth, and Taylor Canfield seven. And seeing the stats, Alec, Barton Briggs nailing this one. Best start, best average speed, best maximum speed, hitting that magical 50 knots boundary, Barry.
Fastest boat out there, sailing the shortest distance. It's pretty much impossible to catch.
Yeah, and interesting also to see here when we see the stats. It's Barton Briggs in the lead from the start. Pepe battling it up. Diego Boting winning it from the top mark and down against Dolph Bosma. And I know the young Dutchman, he's a little bit unsatisfied about that. And then we can see Tim Lapau getting that penalty in the start and dropping to 7, but actually fighting his way back to fifth position, and see he's not satisfied getting in fifth.
Last TV show I binged. I mean, I watch a lot of shows, like a lot. Oh, I'm not good with TV shows. It might have been Peep Show.
Succession. Yeah, I watched Succession. I like that. It was interesting.
Game of Thrones.
Sex Education. Ozark. Quite good.
I'd say the last TV series I really binged on was Suits, and that would have been about 4 or 5 years ago.
Chernobyl.
Chernobyl.
Watched that on the plane.
Yeah, that was really good. Yeah, Chernobyl. Recommend that for anybody.
Hard Knocks. I decided to watch that the other day on the way home. So I got sucked into it. I went through it in about 5 hours.
I don't know.
What have I been watching lately? I'm trying to think.
I've sort of seen everything, being a traveller, travelling around the world.
I watch them with my fiance, so I'm trying to think, but we've been away from each other for over a month now, so I'm like, oh.
Last show I binged, The Good Place. It's just interesting.
I've been watching a show called Scandal lately. It's been pretty good, kind of American politics.
Oh, I hate TV shows. I hate TV. Yeah, sorry.
Barton Briggs, congratulations with winning the race number 1 out of 3 and actually securing a good position to go into the match race final. How does it feel to race against the SailGP sailors?
Yeah, that's right. I was happy with my first race. It's great fun racing all these real sailors, the professionals. It's especially if I think it's fun to race someone, for example, like Diego Botin, who I normally race in a 49er in real life.
Yeah, you are a 49er sailor and you normally race in a top level, but we also experienced that you're using this game quite much. You went to the World Championship 2019 in Bermuda. So how does it feel to compete in Virtual Regatta Inshore?
Yeah, that's right. I think it's just I mean, it's quite similar to real sailing, so and I obviously like real sailing a lot, so I think when I'm not sailing, it's just a great way to spend some time, to have some fun.
So Diego, well done. Best placed athlete in that race. How are you finding it? Are you quite experienced at e-sailing, or is this a first go at it?
No, well, I've done some in the past. I think it's a really nice game to sail when we cannot sail, especially, and yeah, I think it's super nice that we can do this kind of racing in the SailGP also.
And it must be fun taking on some of your SailGP competitors, opponents.
Yeah, it's super fun, and also I'm really used to race with Bart, and yeah, really nice to have everyone here. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, so the two of you both on the 49er Olympic circuit. And tell me, how do you guys do the sailing normally? Do you play it at home or do you play it at events?
The e-sailing or the sailing you said? Sorry.
E-sailing.
Yeah. Sometimes when we are a group of friends or something, we we do some races. It's good fun, mostly with friends. Yeah.
Okay, Diego. Well, good luck for the rest of the competition. Are you feeling confident now you've got a podium finish?
I don't know. Everybody is really good here. I think the starts are quite difficult. Is where I struggle the most, but I will try my best. Let's see what happens.
Good luck.
Thank you.
And Alec, what an interesting interview with Bartlett Briggs and Diego Botín. They are also racing each other in the 49ers normally in the World Series. But here's the score.
Yeah, and we may well see them competing against each other in Tokyo. But right here, right now, it's Bart Lambrechts who is out on top. And that's how the scoring works. It's just like the scoring format in SailGP. So it's 10 points for a win, 9 points for second place, 8 points for third place, all the way down to 8th place that gets 3 points.
And interesting, Alec, how it's going to be. We're getting ready for race number 2. Will Bartlett Briggs continue showing that the gamers, or we can also call him a sailor, are killing the SailGP sailors? Or will we see Tim from France come back in the race? Because he actually had a very good start in this race. Interesting to see.
Yeah, I mean, I think Tim, the French SailGP sailor, you could see it in his face during that race how much he wanted to win it, and I think he's very determined to come through. And Bart Lambrechts, you know, there are two things going on there. He wants to prove himself as an e-sailor, but he's also racing against guys that he will be meeting on real waters once sailing resumes in the future. So there's a lot of ego. There's a lot at stake here. It's great to watch the personalities go head to head.
Yeah, and the personalities, let's get ready to rumble. They are in the game. They are ready that we are pressing start for the race. So let's go in to race number 2. And Alec, we are starting with the best placed SailGP sailor here in the picture. But let's speak a little bit about TJ. He's from the Danish SailGP team.
He is, Tom Johnson. He's actually Australian, but bringing some huge experience to the young Danish team. Ex-Olympic sailor, won the America's Cup with Oracle in Bermuda, so hugely experienced. But how's he going to get on here? He struggled in the first race. We'll see how he does. Taylor Canfield, well, what can we say about him? 14 World Match Racing Tour events to his name as the winning skipper. So really experienced match racer, and it's interesting. We'll keep an eye on how he does this start and who he decides to take on at the start. 10 seconds to go. They're accelerating away. This is one of the fastest moments of the race as they speed across the start line and head towards that mark.
It's a clean start, Alec, but see, Duval Bosma and Taylor getting this penalty from the start. It's still the gamers in the lead. It's Pepe D'Amato, it's Bartlett Briggs, but see who's in second at the moment. That is Tim Lapour coming in there. See, he's getting in. Diego Botín also coming in third. That is going to be a close call. And then we see TJ from Denmark joining in that battle for the mark rounding. Interesting stuff now.
They choose opposite marks, the two leaders. Oh, and it's a penalty for Diego Botín. And that's going to cost him dear as the computer slows him down. But, oh, we have another penalty there as TJ picks that one up in a crash. But Tim, the Frenchman, in second place, loving it at the moment. Really enjoying it. You are still second, though, mate. Oh, no, he's now taken the lead. Yeah. So Bart Lambrechts slips down to second, Pepe D'Amato third now, and SailGP Tim Lapour in first.
Yeah, amazing stuff. And see, Matt is also doing a great job. It looks like the SailGP sailors are getting ready to beat those gamers. And right now, here in the lead, we have one good story from France, Tim Lapour coming in. But opposite side with danger, Pepe D'Amato and also Bartlett Briggs coming in.
Yeah, upwind to the top gate with a very slender lead. The Frenchman as they go into a cross, and the Frenchman crosses in front and picks up a penalty. Bart Lambrechts showing his e-sailing experience there to inflict a penalty on Tim. Pepe D'Amato moves up to second. And are we going to see the Frenchman claw his way back into the top three from there? It's going to be tough. He's got two very experienced e-sailors in front of him now. Taylor Camfield now round the mark in fifth. Matt Gottrell of Great Britain in sixth, and Diego Botin still suffering that penalty he picked up earlier on, and he's got a long, long way to go to make up from that seventh place.
TJ got a good start, but also had those penalties in the bottom, and that's why he is way behind right now the others and battling to come back in the race. Taylor in fifth, but see the battle in the lead. Bart Lambrechts, Pepe D'Amato and Tim Lapau coming in third, but he has to watch out. The 14-year-old Dolf Bosma is coming from behind.
And that Doa Bosma is... he may only be 14, but we've seen him in quite a few top e-sailing competitions. Never quite managing to clinch it. Doesn't quite have that experience yet, but he's a real challenger and one to watch. Bart Lambrechts and Pepe D'Amato. Hardly anything in it as they head upwind for the final time.
But see here, interesting call. They are crossing to opposite side. The routine youngster, Dolf Bosma in fourth, going to the right-hand side. Bart Lambrechts in the left-hand side, together with Taylor and Tim. And that's quite interesting because Tim is back in third, and he actually have a chance now to battling up to second. So let's see how this would unfold. But he has to look out of the youngster who's coming from behind.
Penalty for Taylor Camfield. There was a cross between him and Diego Botin, and Botin came off the best. Shame for Camfield, who was making really good progress up the fleet, but now Diego Botin has moved into fifth as our leaders come up to that gate, and one goes left, one goes right. So they've split.
And an interesting split. This means Pepe D'Amato is going to lose that one because he went to the far side, the mark closest to us, and that was the longest distance. Also see this interesting battle between Diego Botin and Duval Bosma. Duval Bosma is on the inside, but it's Diego he might catch up with it. But it's Bart Lambrechts, Pepe D'Amato in the lead, and Tim coming in third again.
Because Bart Lambrechts is clear and out in front, and he crosses the line to win. Pepe D'Amato second. Tim Lapau, the best placed athlete, was going to take third. And in the end, Diego Botin just couldn't catch the young Dutchman who finished in fourth.
And a battle for points. TJ coming up, taking 7. Oh, he's so close. He took Matt on the finish line. And Matt, he's very satisfied of getting that much 1 point more than the others. And there we have the confirmation. Bart Lambrechts with a victory. Pepe D'Amato in second. Tim Lapau in third. Duval Bosma fourth. Diego Botin in fifth. Taylor Canfield in sixth. Matt Gottrell in seven. And TJ in eight. And watching those stats coming up here, Bart Lambrechts again having the best start, best average speed. But watch here, and let's take his picture in there. Tim actually having some great stats, best maximum speed, almost hitting again 50 knots boundary, and still the shortest distance. That's good job here.
But incredible that Bart Lambrechts picks up the largest number of penalties as well.
Yeah, that was most because of the start from him, because that start counts a lot of penalties into it. But again, Bart he did a very clean race, and we can see it here. He had some issues in the start. We can see here he got a penalty at the first button mark, and then he battling his way back into the race. So see here, the 49er sailor, very experienced, sitting satisfied, getting another win off today.
Roll out of the shed, then couple on the wing.
What the hell is that doing there?
Good.
But congratulations, a good win there. But you started with a penalty. How did you come back from that?
Yeah, I actually had a pretty okay start. I had a penalty in the pre-start, but that didn't bother me because that was at about 40 seconds to go. So at the start it was all good, and I had a decent start. And then I sailed some had some good shifts, and I overtook I think one or two people, and then yeah.
Are you confident now that you're going to be able to beat these SailGP athletes?
I'm not sure. I think they're getting better, so I don't know. We'll have to see.
Well, you're no means sailor yourself with the Dutch team, and you'll be going to Tokyo in the 49er. How much e-sailing do you actually get to do, though?
It changes a bit at these times. There's definitely a bit more time for me to play the game, and sometimes when I'm at an event, I don't play it at all. So, yeah.
All right, Bart. Good luck for the rest of the competition.
Thanks.
Tim, congratulations! Third place, best placed athlete in that race. You getting the hang of e-sailing now?
Yeah, that was pretty hard, and we saw the gamers pretty good. I'm happy to be third on the second races, but yeah, I need to improve myself to be on the top now.
How does it compare, do you think, to real sailing?
Yeah, tactically is quite interesting because it's quite the same of the F50, and we don't have the water on our face, so that's pretty cool. It's warm here, so it's not like in San Francisco.
Yeah, it's all about being comfortable. Good luck for the rest of the regatta, Tim.
Thank you.
So Tim Lapau of France, then the best placed e-sailer on the overall leaderboard, sitting in third place, but absolutely killing it are the e-sailers right now. Bart Lambrecht, Pepe D'Amato with a first and second in both the first races. But look how close it is. It'll only take a slip up from Pepe D'Amato to see Tim Lapau, Diego Botin, Douwe Bosma, all on 14 points. It would not take much to see them suddenly overtake and move up into second and third place. So exciting racing ahead.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting, Alec, because Dolph, he is actually only 14 years old, had 14 points, but he's actually one of the top e-sailers. So if he can control his nerves, battling these top SailGP sailors, then he might slip up in front of Pepe. But Tim and Diego also showing high level. But Alec, what an exciting finish we're going to have. They're fighting for getting into that match race. Number 1 and number 2 will go into the match race and going to battling up who's going to win this game, athletes versus gamers.
Yeah, and as we've said in commentary, you know, controlling the EF50 can be pretty tricky because it is such a fast, skittish boat. So mistakes can happen, and it'll be interesting to see who can keep their nerve and who maybe doesn't have that experience to be able to keep their nerve, to be able to put in those perfect maneuvers and the perfect race.
Yeah, and one thing we have been seeing all night here in this race is that that the SailGP sailors is actually very good of starting the races and very good in the downwind races. So if they just manage to focus on their upwind race and win it, or if one of the top sailors like Bartland Briggs or Pepe D'Amato is getting a penalty in the start, then everything is open.
Yep. The start always very, very important, not just in SailGP, but in eSailGP as well. The boats very similar in as much as in their speed and the difficulty of manoeuvre. So, yeah, I mean, I suspect we'll see a lot of attacks on the e-sailors in the next few races.
Yeah, and they're getting ready when we are talking about the sailors. They are in the server. They're just waiting for us to start it. So let's get into race number 3. That's the final race deciding who is going into the match race. And that's going to be number 1 and 2 in the final score.
Here we go. Race number 3, the deciding race. Who will go through to the match race final after this? Well, we're watching... the face of Tim from France, our SailGPer, who's currently sitting in 3rd place, equal on points with 2 others on 14. But what about Matt Gottrell? Are we going to see a fight back from the Briton, the Olympic rowing champion in the men's 8s in Rio, and a grinder on the SailGP British team this season? Are we going to see a fight back from him? Having a look and see Bart Lambrecht's already picked up a penalty in the pre-start. This is Pepe D'Amato currently drawn. This is Pepe D'Amato currently sitting 2nd overall with 18 points, 2 points behind our overall leader, Bart Lambrecht. Can the Italian from Bari fight back and make up those 2 points? Here we go, the final race, the final chance to qualify for the match race final, and Pepe D'Amato getting a good start. Bart Lambrecht's in there as well, and Douwe Bosma, the young Dutchman, also in the mix. Oh, and it's penalties galore.
They are penalizing Pepe. They are penalizing Bart Lambrecht. They are killing the gamers. It looks like a coordinated attack by the E-sailors and SailGP sailors. It's Diego in 2nd. It's Dole in the lead. So they can go into the match race if this point stands. And then we have TJ coming in 5th. I really love how the SailGP sailors spoke together to kill the 2 leading boats. They are currently now in 6 and 7.
Oh, it's all fun and games. It's what e-sailing is all about. It's not just gentlemanly racing around the course. No messing around. These guys want to win. Douwe Bosma still out in front. Bart Lambrecht's trying to make up time and distance. And Tim from France in 3rd place, the best placed athlete right now.
Yeah. But see how close this race is. There's only 17 meters in between the leading boats. This is open for everybody, especially when we see Diego Botin coming in here. He's going to the left-hand side. That might be a wrong choice because see who is out here? The young Dutchie, that's Douwe Bosma, getting ready to go in a start portal up towards that top mark. And this means he has the right of way if the other boats are coming in front of him.
Let's see as the fleet converges on this gate. Let's see how big an advantage Douwe has. And here comes Pepe D'Amato, the Italian. He's going to slot in behind Diego Botin, who was leading for a short period. Is going to slot in there in 2nd place. So an advantage of about 80 meters for the young Dutchman. And what a battle here for 2nd, all coming in at the same time. Pepe D'Amato giving room to Diego Botin to squeeze in around the inside. And Pepe D'Amato just ahead of Bart Lambrecht.
Yeah. And see, that was a very, very close turn and routine by Pepe D'Amato for not going into that battle because Diego, he was on the inside of that mark rounding, and that means Pepe had got a penalty if they hit each other. But see, Bart Lambrecht, Pepe D'Amato back in top 4th after getting coordinated attacked by everybody. So somebody please stop them so they're not winning everything.
It's going to be hard to catch Douwe Bosma now. But this interesting battle, fascinating for second between Diego Botin and Pepe D'Amato. Bart Lambrecht's in the fight as well, and Taylor Canfield up into fifth now. It's best position of the regatta so far.
Yeah, and interesting also called by Matt following Taylor to the left-hand side straight away. And he's very focused. I know he's very competitive. And they really tried to get some meters on the leading boats. And going to that left-hand side actually won those meters. So Taylor is close to Bart Lambrecht. Tim is coming back also.
Two leading boats coming in here for a cross. And Douwe Bosma just crosses ahead of Diego Botin. So the Dutchman still ahead. But it's so close between him and Diego Botin. Bart Lambrecht now some distance behind in third.
And let's just see this battle in between Diego. See, he's now doing the trick from starport on Douwe Bosma. And this means if Douwe Bosma is making a mistake now, he will get penalized and we will have a SailGP sailor in the lead. And they're rounding the top mark from the second and last time, getting ready for racing to the finish line. Close battle coming up.
Not the tidiest of manoeuvres there from Douwe, but he's done enough to stay in front. It's so close though, isn't it? Just a second or two between them. Diego Botin rounds in second. Bart Lambrecht's in third now. And he's now built up a distance, Bart Lambrecht, between him and the rest of the fleet. So I think we're watching the leading three, the top three, heading towards that finish line very soon. And it's going to be hard for anyone to catch the leading boats. Diego Botin is going to come in second, and Bart Lambrecht will be third. So the young 14-year-old Douwe Bosma wins his first race of this competition. Congratulations to him. Diego Botin gets the second place, and that is the best finish so far for one of the SailGP athletes.
Yeah. And interesting battle we just saw. We saw how TJ just killed Matt in that downwind rounding, and Matt having a hard time there. See, he needs something to drink just there to come over last. So focused, so concentrated of winning, and then TJ penalized him just before coming to the reach mark. But it is the youngster from the Netherlands winning this race. Douwe Bosma is in the victory. Diego Botin, let's get him in the picture. Good position, second place for the SailGP sailor. Bart Lambrecht third, Pepe D'Amato fourth, Taylor Canfield fifth, Tim Lapau sixth, and TJ seven. And then last, Matt came in after getting that penalty for TJ. So I have to say, they have a little bit internal battle in between Denmark and Great Britain. And that's how it's going to be. Stats, the youngster killing it, best start, best average speed, but it was TJ again. TJ, let's just give it him with the best maximum speed. So he's really good in his downwind races, really good in the start. So TJ just needs to practice his upwind races. And when he gets that, then he will actually be a danger to most of them. And interesting also to see Matt capturing the wind best. So actually Matt also get a lot of speed into the boat, but he couldn't finalize it into a victory. And watching the stats, Douwe was in the lead from the start to the end. Jaco coming in from third in the start. We can see him here. He's building up his lead. But interesting to see how that coordinated attack at the first mark, the reach mark, Pepe D'Amato and Bart Lambrecht. We can see both of them, that's the black and the red one, fall down. It looks like they all just said, let's kill the guys. Let's bring them out of this game. And Pepe, he was under attack. Bart was under attack. But they are cool like everything. Tim was one of the guys attacking. We can see on the graph because he came in third on that attack move. But great job by them. The gamers came back in the race. Tim got a penalty at the top mark and lost this game and came in sixth.
Matt, have you enjoyed it?
Yeah, it was good fun. Bit of a laugh. I think there's two different races going on in that I think. So I was flying around with TJ in the back quite a lot, and Taylor was kicking around as well. So yeah, it was good fun though.
you guys just can't help competing against each other, can you?
I think, anytime you get involved in something like this or a bit of fun, you kind of starts off fun and then it gets a bit more serious. But no, I wish I spent a bit more time practicing before that. Too many mistakes cost me, I think.
Now you're an Olympic rowing champion. You then moved into sailing, and now you're moving into e-sailing.
Yeah. Well, I think it's just as times are changing, you can kind of get involved in anything these days, and especially with what's going on in the world at the moment. I think e-gaming's got its pride and place at the top of most people's agendas. So it's been good fun to get involved and see what they've been developing over the years. And it's been good fun. It gets you thinking a little bit about sailing if you can't get out on the water.
Matt, tell me what it was like sailing against the e-sailors who probably have more experience than you on the gaming side.
I think I spent most of the time just trying to follow them because I figured they knew what they were doing. But I didn't really get any chance to actually get in front of many of them at any time. I think they're pretty impressive on the starting, which is kind of like real life, I guess. If you can get the starts right, it kind of makes the rest of it a little bit easier. So they're pretty impressive. They know exactly what they're doing and how to get the boat around the course.
And how does it compare to SailGP, the real SailGP?
I think the biggest thing is you can't really afford to make any mistakes, which is exactly like any racing, especially in their 50s. Everything happens so quickly. So I guess that side of things is pretty realistic, really, pretty similar. You've got to be on the top of your game in order to win these races. 2
Volvo Ocean races, an America's Cup. How does this e-sailing compare?
It's a little bit different, mate. Not really used to staring at computers most of the time. Used to looking out over the water, but it's good fun. It's nice to be able to, in these times, get online and do some racing against some of the guys. I've had a bit of fun, so yeah.
And have you enjoyed this? How was it competing against the e-sailers?
Yeah, it was pretty tough. I mean, I can't compete against those guys. They smashed me, but. No, it was good fun. Good to get on and do a bit of racing.
Tell me how things going with the Danish team, because you guys are actually able to get out on the water now, aren't you?
Yeah, no, it's all been good. I mean, we can't actually get on the water because we don't have a boat here in Denmark, but we've been debriefing and working on a lot of things, planning on what we're going to do moving forward, and hopefully we can get out there and do some sailing soon.
Oh, I love it. It's so much fun, especially when I'm on the water and I can see all the boats from so close. And for me, who sails, it's like a dream, really. So my name is Caroline, and I work here on water operations. So I had applied in the past to different sailing opportunities like that, but people usually wouldn't even apply because I'm young and I don't have much experience. And I've been told that there's this Inspire Careers program, and I thought it was a really good opportunity. Most of my responsibilities are just looking around the ribs. I check that there's enough petrol, just check the power, put the motors down and up. And then during the day we go on the water and I stay with safety 1 or 2. Control. This is safety 1.
The Inspire program's great for young people. As you get older, you realise that these people need an experience, and we try and give them a little bit of time because we know in the long term it's going to help them out. 7 out of 10.
This Inspire Careers Week I think will enable me to learn more about SailGP, but also hopefully maybe get a job here. I think it would be the dream job for me.
And Alec, what a amazing race number 3, deciding who's going into the match race. Whew.
It was a coordinated attack, wasn't it, from the SailGPers against the gamers. Taylor Canfield, Tom Johnson of the Australian, who sails for the Danish SailGP team. They kind of had nothing to lose, really, and they really took the pre-start of that third race to the e-sailors. And, well, it made for a very close finish, didn't it?
Just a very close finish, and we just saw that Dole Bosma, the young 14-year-old Dutchman, was winning it. And doing my calculation, Alec, then it's all open. Who is getting into that final match race? Let's see the scoreboard.
And there we have it. Our finalists just are Bart Lambrechts and Pepe D'Amato. But how close was the 14-year-old from Holland, sitting in 30, just missed out on the final by 1 point. And in the end, Diego Botin of Spain finished off as our best placed SailGP with 23 points.
And this is a very interesting score board we have here, Alec, because Pepe D'Amato, he just managed to go in front of Taylor. They had this huge battle up to the top mark. And if Pepe D'Amato had lost that battle, then it either been Dolph Bosma or Diego Botin going into the final, because Dolph and Diego also had this internal battle all the way in the race. But it's Pepe D'Amato winning this and getting in second. So let's hear more from them in how they're going to do their tactics in this match race final.
But here we go then, the match race final. It's not your first, but how do you see Pepe being as an opponent? How are you going to fight him?
Yeah, I think he's a good e-sailer. I think the start will be a big deal. Going to try to give him a penalty, and then we'll see where it goes.
And how did you find it sailing against the athletes, the SailGP sailors?
Yeah, it was great fun. They're all good sailors. They're getting better in this e-game, and it was a lot of fun.
You had quite a battle, especially in that last race against Diego Botin on the water. You're both competitors, aren't you? Him for the Spanish team, and you with the Dutch team in the 49ers. So, what was it like in the virtual world?
It's definitely fun racing Diego in the 49ers. He's usually a bit better than I am, and in this game I'm a little bit better. So it's fun.
Pepe D'Amato will come to the match race with a second place overall score. How was it to compete against these SailGP sailors? They were so close of beating you up, giving you a penalty in this race number 3.
Yeah, they worked together to give me the penalty, and it was worst, but it was also challenging. Yeah.
And Pepe, you're known in the e-sailing community as one of the top players from Italy. How is it to race against Bart Lambrechts in this match race final?
Yeah, I know that he is a really good sailor and also e-sailor, and he was also last year at the World Championship. So I know that he is very, very strong.
Yeah, and Pepe, how to win this race? I know you are not allowed to tell your tactics, but what will you do? Will you psych him, or will you do some tactics we haven't seen before?
So it's a match race, so I'll try to cover him at the beginning, but I don't want to show you all what I have in my mind. So let's see the race.
Best of luck, Pepe.
3, 2, 1. A brand new sailing adventure. 1 minute 35. What are you thinking? 8, 7, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Looks like they're gone. No, the tip of the wing is in the water.
It doesn't get any more extreme than that.
Right behind it, straight over the top of Japan. And he's very close once again. Draper just getting thrown out of his position there.
Still plenty to play for him. Here we go, boys.
They are coming down here in an absolute beauty of a gust.
GBR's capsized.
It's time to get up and party. Australia is the 2019 SailGP champion.
Here we go. Match race final. Bart Lambrechts against Pepe D'Amato of Italy. And this is the Dutchman that qualified as the overall leader in qualifying, part of the Netherlands 49er Olympic team, but how's he going to do in this match race? He's quite aggressive in the start, and can this guy from Italy, from Bari in the south of Italy, Peppe D'Amato, be a match for him? And already those battles have begun. With 8 seconds to go, Bart Lambrecht picks up a penalty as he fights Peppe D'Amato. They cross the start line with Bart Lambrecht slowed by the computer because of that penalty. And D'Amato heads towards that first mark on this fast reach and accelerates to 46 knots. And can he hold that lead now? Can Bart Lambrecht come back? It's still close between them.
It's very close in between them. This is all open. It's only 62 meters. One small mistake from Pepe and Bart Lambrecht will kill him. They're trying to cover each other, rounding this mark, and they need to follow each other. Bart Lambrecht need to be on the tail of Pepe, and they're splitting up, Alec. This is now or never. Let's see what happens.
Lambrecht had to do something. He couldn't just follow Peppe D'Amato around the course. This race is too fast, too short to be able to do that. And we're going to see them now crossing over and over again, and as they go up to that top gate. But Peppe D'Amato has the slightest of advantages right now, about 40 meters between them.
But it's interesting, Alex. See how they're battling each other. Pepe tries to cover Bart Lambrecht instead of racing the race, and every time he does attack, he lost momentum. He's losing it for 10 seconds. So instead of covering Bart, maybe he should focus on the race. This means Bart is only 30 meters away from him. Side by side, they're racing towards the top mark. And Bart Lambrecht are in the favorite position for the far side mark rounding up there because of the rule of the inside turn. This is interesting.
In these fast boats, every maneuver costs you so much time and distance. And Peppe D'Amato and Bart Lambrecht bow to bow, heading up to this gate. This is going to be, and Peppe D'Amato forcing Bart Lambrecht wide. And now he turns and moves towards the gate and decides to take that right-hand side, followed by Bart Lambrecht. And the positions from the first gate have been restored.
Yeah, but
Peppe D'Amato of Italy out in front.
But very, very well played by Pepe, pushing Bart Lambrecht out. If Bart here had maybe turned a little bit earlier going behind him, he might have winning a little bit more meters on it. But see, Pepe catching win much better. Bart 45.6, Pepe hit 46.4 knots downwind. So right now, it looks like Peppe D'Amato tries to sneak away, but one small mistake still. It's only 68 meters. Will lose this race.
Yeah, terrific race. Two of the top E-sailors going head-to-head in this match race final.
And another split, Alec. Another split coming in. Bart Lambrecht trying to do as few tacks as possible upwind. Peppe D'Amato went to the right-hand side. He needs to do an extra tack more than Bart Lambrecht. And this might mean that Bart Lambrecht is winning those 60 meters upwind. Let's keep an eye on that. Pushing it to the boundary.
So they're coming in for the cross right now. And Peppe D'Amato still out in front.
And again, he chooses to cover Bart Lambrecht instead of focus on his racing. And that means there's 10 meters, 8 meters in between them, Alec. It can't be closer. Attack from Bart Lambrecht might kill Pepe and penalize Pepe. So Pepe is losing this race. Let's see. Oh, going behind.
Pepe with the right of way there, the advantage. So he's covering the Dutchman. And I think we're going to see the same tactic here as we saw earlier on. He's going to try and push him as wide as possible to cause him to travel more distance. And now we're going to see Peppe D'Amato maneuver again.
Early.
Oh, Lambrecht goes early, but he's covered by the Italian.
No. He's switching position when Bart tacks in towards the mark. He can actually penalize Pepe. Pepe needs to look around because Bart on the inside, Pepe going to the opposite. This is a battle. Both slowing up. Bart with a penalty.
He's hit the mark.
No, it's a victory for Pepe. It couldn't be closer. See how glad he is, the Italian. What a battle. What a battle.
What a bad mistake from the Dutchman, and that has cost him the race. And he now sits at home and watches Pepe D'Amato storm ahead in front of him and round that final mark and head towards the finish line. So it was a very special regatta. It was athletes against e-sailors, and the finalists in the end were both e-sailors, and the winner is Pepe D'Amato of Italy ahead of Bart Lambrechts of the Netherlands. Confirmation then of the win. 3 seconds between the two. So close between our two top e-sailors.
And it's interesting to read these stats here. Bart Lambrechts with the best start. He got a penalty in the start by Pepe, but he came over the starting line first and didn't lose that much and fought his way back. Then we saw Pepe, when we're coming in here, we saw how they're switching positions from the gate, from the top mark, the last top mark to the reach mark. But unlucky for Bart, he did a fantastic tactics by turning early away from Pepe D'Amato. He actually did the right thing. And that right thing, he sadly lost because he came too close to the mark and got a penalty. Great race by them all, but it's a victory for Pepe D'Amato. See how happy he is, sitting in Bari, this time ready to win.
Taylor Canfield, arguably the best match racer out there in the world right now. What did you make of that match race final?
Oh, it was incredible. You know, not being in it, it was. I was still on the edge of my seat watching that. You know, it looks like Pepe was pretty aggressive, and it worked out for him in the pre-start. But you know, Bart with a little bit better boat handling from my point of view, you know, kept the race close and battled back into it. And you know, it came down to the inches in that last final turning mark at the top. So you know, these guys are really well polished, obviously, and I got some work to do on my e-sailing, that's for sure.
How would you have raced it differently if you were in that final?
Oh boy, to be honest, I can't say I would have done much different. Those guys are, you know, obviously very well polished, and yeah, you know, I'm looking forward to racing them a bit more. I took a little break from the e-sailing, so you know, I'm looking forward to seeing these guys on the race course more often. And you know, they're obviously some great sailors in their own right on the water, and they got some great skills in the game too. So I'm going to try to learn from them.
So you're a bit rusty on the e-sailing then. When do you get to play it?
Yeah, to be honest, I've just been trying to, you know, be outdoors in my own space as much as I can during the pandemic that we're in. Unfortunately, you know, being safe as always. But you know, in the evening, sometimes I get on and looking forward to, you know, upping that time a little bit and trying to keep my skills sharp. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. So I got a lot of friends on the game, and it's great to race the other SailGP sailors and the other great sailors around the world.
So Taylor, how does the game actually compare to real sailing?
Well, you know, there's no substitute for doing, you know, 40 plus knots on the water with the apparent wind and the water hitting you in the face. So, you know, you definitely get some thrill doing this, and you know, you definitely feel some adrenaline going through you. But yeah, I don't think it'll ever replace the real thing. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to getting back on the water. And in the meantime, I'll keep sharpening my skills in the game.
Pepe, congratulations.
Thank you, Alec.
How was that? That was such a close race. Tell us about it.
Yeah, it was a very close race because Bart is a very, very good player. And yes, I never had a match race like this, really.
What were your tactics before the race?
Yeah, the tactics was very simple. I'll try to cover him, and that's all, because I tried to give him a penalty, and I did this, and it was very, very cool because there was also not a long distance between us. So, and it was really, really good to keep the position and to keep the meters.
And what was it like competing also against you know, professional athletes?
I was little nervous at the beginning because when I always saw them in the picture or in the videos where they go very, very fast on the catamarans, foil catamarans. So yes, it was fun.
Well, you didn't seem intimidated. You did really, really well. It was two second place. Oh, here we go. 2 second places and a 4th place, and then a final victory. Is that your best ever result, do you think?
On SailGP, yes. Yes, it is my best result ever.
Again, congratulations to Pepe D'Amato, a very happy Italian winning this fantastic athletes versus gamers. What a final. So close of Bartlett and Briggs of winning it. But I have to say, the SailGP sailors gave them battle all the way to the finish line. So close to see one of them in the match race final against Bartlett and Briggs.
Yeah, it was terrific, wasn't it? Absolutely terrific seeing the SailGP sailors just progress and improve with every race. And I think if the competition had gone on for longer, we might have seen them come up and challenge the gamers a little bit more. But hey, from what I've heard, from talking to them, from all those interviews, from watching their performance, I think a lot of those e-sailors, the professionals, the athletes are really into the sport now, into e-sailing. And I think we're going to see plenty more of them to come. So plenty more to tune in for. We're hoping for a rematch at some point, but we've got plenty of SailGP action coming your way very soon. So keep an eye on the schedules. But for now, from me, Alec Wilkinson, and from Thomas Bjorn-Luthi, it's goodbye and keep sailing. Quite aggressive in the start, and can this guy from Italy, from Bari, in the south of Italy, Pepe D'Amato, be a match for him? And already those battles have begun, and accelerates to 46 knots. And can he hold that lead now? Can Bartlett that top gate? But Pepe D'Amato has the slightest of advantages right now, about 40 metres between them.
But it's interesting, Alex, see how they're battling each other.
Pepe to this gate. This is going to be Pepe D'Amato forcing Bartlett and Briggs wide, and now he turns and moves towards the gate. Terrific race. 2 of the top sailors going head-to-head in this match race final to travel more distance. And now we're going to see Pepe D'Amato maneuver again.
Early. Yeah.
And Briggs goes early, but he's covered by the Italian.
No. He's switching position when Bart tacks in towards the mark. He can actually penalize Pepe. Pepe needs to look around because Bart on the inside, Pepe going to the opposite. This is a bad cross right now.
Oh, he's hit the mark.
No, it's a victory for Pepe. It couldn't be close to see how glad he is, the Italian.